Okay, so we're gonna make a tier list for League of Legends today. I've been playing a lot of League recently, and I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on what's good in the current meta. So we're gonna talk about kind of just all the roles together and kind of go from there. Okay, so first up is Victor. I think Victor is a pretty good mid laner. I think his build paths are pretty easy. I think he controls most lanes. I don't really think he has too many bad matchups either. So I personally think Victor is easily like an S tier mid laner. Overall, probably like an A tier character. We'll throw him an S, maybe we have to move him down a little bit. Next is Misfortune. I think Misfortune's super sleeper OP right now. Like no one really plays her. You just go the full lethality build, like Collector, Lord Doms, Eclipse, Collector, Lord Dominance, and I feel like she's kind of super slept on. Like no one really plays her. Maybe her build's just super boring, but she's really, really good right now. Next is Ezreal. Ezreal kind of is always in the meta. I feel like everyone knows that. The classic Tear the Goddess, fucking man immune abuser type characters. I personally don't really like Ezreal's, but I think he's like hard to say that he's not a good character. Next is Pyke. Pyke mid is probably the best mid in the game. I really think that like he's kind of hard to beat. That being said, support, I think he's a little bit weaker, but if we're talking about mid, I think you should be picking this character up. Next is Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz I think is fucking terrible. I think Vel'Koz is just a bait character. There's no reason that you should be playing this character at all. He is just turbo trash. Maybe he's like playable support, but like, fuck, don't play him mid. Maybe don't even play him support. I think he's like probably F tier. Next is Annie. Annie is, she's like mid. She's like not that like great, honestly. I personally think at best she's like what, like maybe B tier mid. Never play her support. She just kind of like survives a lot of lanes. Next is Mordekaiser. So I think Mordekaiser is like pretty good. He's actually a decent jungler too, which is kind of crazy. I think the craziest part of this is the fact that like he's not OP in any role, but I think he's like decent top, decent jungle, playable mid, and then I guess don't play him the other roles, but yeah. Oh, and what makes Pyke mid so good? It's mostly the fact that he doesn't really need to lane. And the game is just so much about tempo right now with like the TP changes that you just clear like a wave or two and then just roam. It's the same reason why Singed mid is good, why Twitch mid is good. Just roam heavy playstyles are really, really strong. Next is Janna. So Janna right now is, I think she's like probably an A tier support, mostly due to the glacial changes. I just think that insta-procking Qs for glacial procs is kind of just disgusting. Like I have no idea how you're supposed to deal with that, but she's pretty good. Next is Veigar. So Veigar is probably an A tier mid laner. They did nerf him a little bit last patch with his cage, but he's just one of those characters that you get out of lane, you kind of hyper scale, and you kind of just one-shot everyone as the game goes on. Next we have Maokai. Maokai is fucking kind of terrible. He's kind of like Vel'Koz. Both of them are very, very similar in the fact that like you can't play him top, you can't jungle him. He's playable support, I think, but it's just no reason to pick this character over anyone else. Next we have Lucian. Lucian's probably like a B tier AD carry. He's kind of always middle of the pack. He's seeing a little bit of pro play mid, but for bottom lane, for casual play, I think he's like middle of the pack. Cool. Next we have Lulu. I think Lulu is probably high A tier. And I don't know, she's like mid. Like she's always going to be good with like hyper carries, and she's always going to be able to peel assassins, but she still doesn't do as much as you want her to in every scenario. That being said, she's not really bad to pick her like in a lot of places. Next we have Vel'Koz. So yeah, Vel'Koz still F tier character. Yeah, definitely wouldn't put him there anywhere higher. We have Yuumi here. So Yuumi is probably S tier. Maybe that's just because I hate the character. Honestly, probably if I was going to rate her without being biased against her, she's probably just like highest of A because she makes certain characters just work so well. Very frustrating to play against. Very, very annoying to play against. Next we have Brand. I haven't seen a lot of Brands. Nick was streaming some mid Brand a couple days ago, which looked not very good in my opinion. He thinks it's pretty decent, but I think he's best played support, and still at there he's still probably like a C tier at best character, I think. Next we have Soraka. Soraka I think is like honestly just as good as Yuumi, if not better. I think her healing's just as good as Yuumi's, except that it's global. And the fact that she has a silence, like an AoE, like instant silence is fucking so underrated in League of Legends. Next we have Vladimir. I think Vladimir's really bad currently. Like just awful to play. I don't think you should be playing him in any role. He takes way too long to scale up. He's just not worth it, I think. Zyra, my opinion on Zyra is slowly shifting. She went from being like a really good character to, I think, one of the worst supports in the game. She's kind of climbing up my tiers again, though. I think she has so much damage for supports that she's kind of super underrated. It's not very uncommon to see Zyra be like the top 2 damage dealers in a game, which is crazy for like a support character. Next we have Karthus. Karthus jungle is still like high up here. The issue with Karthus is he's always really hard to play. Like you can play him jungle, you could potentially play him mid. He's really good bottom, but he's really hard to play in all 3 of those roles. But without barring the skill discrepancy, I think he's like way up here. Next we have Gragas, the fucking drunken rabble rouser. Thanks so much for the sub, Max. I appreciate it, man. I think Gragas support is super slept on. I don't think he's that good jungle. I think he's average top, but support, he has so much utility. I'm also biased in the fact that I played in a tournament yesterday and seeing him just deny Zac engages over and over and over with his belly slam because it has priority over, I think, every ability in the game is kind of crazy. He's definitely a super slept on support. Next we have Kayle. Kayle is like probably an S tier top laner right now in the current meta. I currently think that Kayle is pretty fucking good. Her early laning phase really isn't that weak. Like a lot of people go, oh yeah, you abuse Kayle 1 through 6 and then she can't really do anything. Just take advantage over there, easy peasy, game's over. She's not that weak through 1 through 6, and then her like 6 through 11 is like average at best, and then her 11 through 16 is good, and then her 16 to 18 is just like best character in the game level like tier. It's really, really strong. Next we have Talon. Talon jungle's like a lot weaker since the nerfs. I've been seeing a little bit of Talon mid. I think he doesn't do as well as like, he's like the easier version of Qiyana, right? Like if you can play Qiyana, you probably just play her, but if you can't, then maybe you just go to Talon. He's like probably low B tier, high C tier at best. Let's just go high C for now. Next we have Skarner. Skarner is a pretty weird character. His best role in theory is jungle. That being said, I honestly think the best way to play Skarner right now is with the like top lane cheese meta, where you just go the alt and then drag them under your tower, get the kill at level 6. I don't really think there's any other way to play him. He's probably an F tier character down with like Vel'Koz's and Maokai. Next we have sorry, I'm just lost track really quick. Next we have Nautilus. Nautilus is probably like an A tier support at best. He's really, really good. Like I think the engages with Nautilus are kind of just unmatched. He's like an easier to play version of a lot of other hook characters. I think that anyone should have him in their like repertoire. Whether or not he's actually that good, I just think his ease makes him like super, super good to have in your pool of characters. Cool. Next we have Ashe. I think Ashe is pretty bad, to be honest. Like, at best, she's like a AD carry that has a CC. And at worst, she's just fucking useless. She's just not very good to have, I think, on your team. Next, you have Nidalee. Nidalee's kind of fallen out of flavor a lot recently. Out of favor a lot recently. I still think that if you're a really good Nidalee player, she's like S tier. That being said, why are you not just playing Rek'Sai and smurfing on people? Why are you playing Nidalee? I personally would put her like maybe low A, high B, but kind of hard to get a good gauge on her. Next, we have Azir. I see 0 Azirs in ranked right now. Is it because he's probably really hard to play? Is it because he's probably not that good? Also probably true. I'm not sure where he fully falls. Probably low B, but I think he requires a lot of work to make actually function. Next, we have Master Yi. If you asked me this a week ago, he would have been S tier. If you asked me a week before that, he would have been F tier. He's somewhere in the middle now after all the hotfix buffs and nerfs. I don't really know where he falls now, but we'll figure out in the next couple weeks if he actually becomes like a good character again. Next, we have Morgana. I think Morgana's super slept on. Why the fuck does no one play this character support? She has still the best utility in the game. Black Shield is so fucking gross. Her Q's such a fucking good ability. Her ultimate's insane once you pair it with like a stopwatch or Zhonya's. She's super underrated, I think. Next you have Graves. Graves is also kind of an underrated character. I think he's not seeing as much play in the jungle right now because people are trying to play him top with Hullbreaker. But he's pretty good. He still clears jungle really, really fast compared to a lot of characters. I think he's like probably low A tier, easy peasy. Next we have Akshan. Dude, Akshan is so fucking good. He kind of just like dicks a lot of top laners when you play him top, and when you play him mid, he abuses stealth and roams like really, really hard with his actual stealth. I don't know if I want to put him S tier. He's probably like near the mid to top of A though. Cool. Next is Ezreal. As we were talking about Ezreal earlier, Ezreal's just so fucking good. Would definitely recommend picking him up in a lot of comps. He's just super easy, kind of gets out of lane pretty free. Next we have Samira, dude, the fucking bad girl of Noxus. I think she's like a lot. So she's only really being played solo lanes in solo queue. If you look at higher or lows, she's not really being played AD carry support that much. That being said, I don't think she's as bad as people say. It's mainly the fact that she was so good and then got nerfed so hard. She's like still mid for like bottom lane. And then if you want to play in solo lanes, I think she's also like pretty average. She's probably one of the better AD carries to play in solo lanes right now. So I'd put her like low B tier. Next we have Poppy. Poppy, the fucking one of my favorite characters in the game to play. I think Poppy is an S tier counter pick and a high B tier character overall. So if you're getting counter picks, she's probably the best counter pick in the game for like a lot of matchups. But let's put her high B for now. Next we have Ashe. So yeah, Ashe, once again, I think Ashe is just one of those characters that like, if you're not like making use of her ultimate, she's just a deadweight character. But that being said, if you're not very good at AD carry, pretty easy character to pick up and then still contribute to your team after you're losing lane. Then we have Tristana. I haven't seen any Tristana after the nerfs. She kind of has lost her cheese of the level 2 jump and kill them strategy. I played her a little bit mid on one of my Smurf accounts, but I don't really know where to take her from there. Is she worth playing otherwise? I don't think so. I don't see how you can cheese in higher elos with her mid. I don't see how she wins lane in lower elo or in any elo bottom. So let's put her like low C for now. Next we have Syndra. Dude, Syndra is a weird character. I feel like Syndra's never been a bad character. So it's weird. I feel like she's always at least playable. I guess like, I want to say A even though I don't see her at all, because she might actually just be like a B tier character. But yeah, I guess I don't really know where to put her. I think low A is probably fine though. Next we have Poppy. Yeah, Poppy. So yeah, Poppy, fucking great counter pick. So good. Would recommend counter picking into anything. That being said, picking her raw is like never that good. Oh, Wukong, dude. Wukong is so fucking bad. I think Wukong is just a useless bag of shit character. Please don't pick this character. Really, really bad. Next we have Mordekaiser. Dude, Mordekaiser, I was saying it earlier, Mordekaiser, you can pick him into fucking anything, any role you want. He kind of just does average. Like, play him jungle, average. Play him top, average. Play him mid, probably below average. Then we have Garen. Dude, Garen, this is gonna sound crazy. Garen S tier. He's so fucking easy to play, wins a lot of lanes, really, really strong. Can't carry as hard as other top laners, but like, holy fuck, Garen's like super good in the current meta. Then we have Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser, you can play him jungle, you can play him mid, you can play him top. He's kind of average in all those roles. Would recommend playing him. Aatrox. Dude, fucking Aatrox is so sick. I think Aatrox is probably one of the best top laners in the game. I am biased because I can't play him, and whenever I get beat by him, I go, oh, that character's super easy, and he wins every matchup. I don't know if he's actually that easy. That being said, definitely would recommend picking up Aatrox if you can. He's a little bit hard to play, but definitely would recommend it. Oh, then we have Garen, dude. Fucking Garen. Garen is so good right now. I think Garen is an S tier top laner. He is so fucking sick. He wins every matchup. He doesn't carry as hard as other top laners, but holy fuck, man, is he easy to play and does he do a lot of work right now? Trinimer is probably another S tier top laner. Kind of just gross. He kind of just like runs down lanes, abuses Hullbreaker more than any other character. Pretty fucking easy to pilot. He gets hard countered by some matchups like Tahm Kench, Poppy, just a lot of tanks, but he's really, really good. Then we have Annie, dude. Annie is pretty good. I think she's like mid at best. She's pretty good mid. She's not a good support anymore. I still think, like, I've seen some Annie people try to play her support still. I think that's like trolling. She's still decent mid though. She just like kind of like neutralizes a lot of matchups, which is really, really good. Next we have Ornn. Oh, fuck, dude. I think Ornn is my next character I'm picking up. I think Ornn does so much fucking damage despite being a full tank. He kind of reminds me of Tahm Kench. He's like a less mobile, less oppressive version of Tahm Kench, but holy shit, he does the damage. He's super tanky, and not only that, he's one of the better team fighters in the entire fucking game. Would definitely recommend picking him up. I don't want to put him S tier yet because I haven't like put my time into him yet, but I think he's probably like A at least. Darius, dude, the fucking bad boy of Noxus. I haven't lost lane to a Darius in so long. I used to kind of just get like stomped by them every once in a while. I don't think the character is that good. He still can take over games, especially if you're in lower elo, like be careful around him. But in theory, he shouldn't do that much. Kayn. I think if we had Blue Kayn on here, Blue Kayn's probably S tier, Red Kayn's probably B tier. I guess we'll split the difference and put him A tier. And last but not least, we have Lux. I'm a bit of a Lux hater. That being said, I think she's like pretty good support right now. I'm not a huge fan of playing her mid. I think you're wasting a lot of potential on your team by like not running just a better mid. But if you're playing her support, she does a lot of damage, has decent CC, good pick. Definitely worth picking up right now. Yeah, and then we have a bunch of characters that are like slated to release in League. I haven't seen these characters on the Rift yet. But yeah, that's my League of Legends tier list for patch 12.5.